Hey guys, this is Ghost Host, and today we are back with another review. This time it is the Spider-Man Retro Series from Marvel Legends, Hobgoblin. Alright, so for those of you who don't know much about Hobgoblin, let's see, I'm trying to think of when he first appeared. Okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was, Spectacular Spider-Man 43. I have to look up all these characters before I record. And it was, I think, 1980. And he was to replace the original Green Goblin who had died at the hands of his own glider in a fight with Spider-Man. Let's see, his real name is Roderick Kingsley. Some people say that he's somebody else. And that's because that Roderick Kingsley, the Hobgoblin, employs a lot of crooks, criminals, and mind controlling. He likes to mind control people to dress up as him. He'll hire criminals to dress up as him. He'll mind control people to dress up as him. And so whenever he's in a fight and he dies, it ends up not being the actual Hobgoblin. But it's Roderick Kingsley, a fashion designer who stumbled upon one of Green Goblin's old bases. And he repainted it and repurposed it to create the Hobgoblin persona. Let's see, I remember him my earliest recollection of the first time I heard of him was in the Spider-Man the Animated Series cartoon, which is what this design is based off of, although there are a few things that aren't quite right about it. First of all, his glider, he has a more comic-inspired glider, but with the cartoon colors. Next, his cape isn't actually tethered in the show. And 3, the face. I think a lot of people were complaining about the face. I hated it when looking at pictures, but now I just think it's fine. I mean, it could be better. It could be worse. But yeah, I was just hoping that they would make a new head for this figure. But I guess all the budget went to, like, Hammerhead, MK, and Shocker. So, yeah, the budget went elsewhere. So this guy just got a repaint. First let's start off with some scale. Alright, so here he is next to the 2 other figures I have in this wave, which would be the Ben Reilly Spider-Man and Shocker. So, I don't think Hobgoblin ever fought Shocker in the comics, but I do think he did fight Ben Reilly's Spider-Man. Okay, here he is next to the Marvel Legends Sleepwalker and Ghost Rider here. If you're wondering why I chose these 2 figures in particular, because these are the storylines from... I first heard of Hobgoblin in comics. One was a Ghost Rider team-up comic with Spider-Man, where, Hobgoblin had kidnapped somebody. I can't remember who. I think it was Barbara Ketch, but I can't remember. So this is the original Ghost Rider right here. We don't have a figure of the Danny Ketch Ghost Rider just yet, but I'd love to get one soon. Alright, but yeah, this is from the Spider-Man and Ghost Rider team-up comic. And then this one, Sleepwalker, is from another Spider-Man team-up comic. The Sleepwalker comic where he teamed up with Spider-Man to fight the Hobgoblin. I can't remember why he was fighting the Hobgoblin in that comic. But yeah, he seems to always be the villain in Spider-Man team-up comics. So yeah. Okay, now here he is next to the Green Goblin from the Retro Series Wave 1. So, obviously here are the goblins together. We later find out that Norman Osborn didn't die, and I think there was actually a comic where the 2 goblins fought. But yeah, they both are using similar body molds. They're both using pieces of the Bucky Cap body mold, and the arms and legs on the Green Goblin are taken from the Dread Knight figure from the SDCC, the Raft box set. This one is just using the Bucky Cap body mold with boots and gloves on, because in the 90s animated series, it didn't really look like he had scales like the Green Goblin did. So yeah, pretty nice. Alright, hold up real quick. Let's take a look at the box, because I forgot to do that first. Here we see, it's meant to look like the toy line by Toy Biz from the 90s, based off the animated series. See some box art right here of Hobgoblin throwing a pumpkin bomb. City background, the Spider-Man and Marvel Comics logo of the time. On the back, more logos, more Hobgoblin, play feature shown, and the other figures you get in the line. Those being Shocker, Ben Reilly Spider-Man, Symbiote Spider-Man, Marvel's Hammerhead, Spider Armor MK1, and I don't have these three right here. I want to get the other two Spider-Man. Hammerhead, I'm not so sure if I'm gonna get. There's a read-up here. Deploying an eerie arsenal of pumpkin bombs and razor-sharp bats from his goblin glider, the criminal mastermind Hobgoblin has Spider-Man constantly on his guard. So yeah. Another little bit of trivia for the Hobgoblin. He once turned into a demon. So very nice. And he was a member of the Sinister Six. Okay, so let's take a look at his accessories he comes with his smallest here being his pumpkin bomb. And I dropped it. So yeah, he comes with one pumpkin bomb. I wish some of these figures would come with more than one. 2 or 3 would be preferred. He has his satchel, which I have already put on the figure. And he also comes with his glider, which I will admit is way too small. I'll get into that in a second. Actually, no, let's get into it right now. Alright, let's see how much effort it takes for me to get this guy on his glider. I don't know why they chose to go with these little straps that are supposed to keep his feet on the glider. They should have just done pegs. That would have worked a lot better. Have to get it securely on there, just to show you guys how long and tedious it is of a task to get him on his glider securely. Alright, there we go. Kinda works. Okay, now, let's get this out of here. Let's take a look at another feature he comes with. You can pop off his head, and you can actually remove his head from his hood, revealing a pretty fine head sculpt. It's not bad. Alright, so I'm going to do the articulation without his cloak on, just to make it easier. Now let's see. Hobgoblin can look a really good amount forward, but with his hood off. Really good amount back. Side to side motion. Look all the way around. Arm can go a decent amount up, all the way down to the side. Swivel. His arm can also move all the way around, although it's a bit stiff at the joint. Double jointed elbows, although the gloves get in the way of that. Swivel and hinge at the wrists. Oh, I wish this figure would have come with alternate hands and gloves that didn't rip when you articulated them. Comes with an ab crunch. Waist swivel. Let's move this arm back. He kicks this far forward and this far back. Swivel at the thigh. Double jointed knees. Boot cut swivel. Foot articulation, and an ankle pivot. So yeah, you can get this figure into some pretty dynamic poses. Honestly, some of the articulation on this figure is better than their Spider-Man figure, which is surprising. Alright, so that will be all for today, guys. If you liked the review, please leave a like. If you have something to say, leave it in the comments below. Any recommendations for what I should do, what figures I should get, please tell me. Subscribe for more content like this. I almost always have a figure in the mail at least once every month, which isn't that often, but I'll sometimes upload other stuff if I don't have anything else to do. And with that, I'm going to have to say goodbye, guys. Have a wonderful day.